Okay, so to my family, I came out to my mom and everything. She didn't know what was bisexual first. At first, when I told her I was bisexual, she didn't know what was bisexual. So I had to explain to her what was bisexual. And then she said like, oh, okay. After a while, when I told her when I was gay, she was like, she was upset, but she said it's still okay because I'm the only son in the family, so accepted lah. So yeah. And then to my friends was a big risk. For my friends was a very big risk because they've been together with me for very long, and reason for me not coming out very quickly when I knew I was gay because my family were very close towards me, so I was thinking like, well, if I would lose them and stuff. But yeah, I turned 21, then I told myself, screw it, I just told the entire world. So yeah, they were cool about it and they accepted me, so I was having a lot more fun. So yeah.
Initially when coming out to my friends was the easy part because they always knew. It was not something that like it was like a hide and seek game or anything. I was always more myself with my friends, and they never really judged me either way. So when I came out to them, it wasn't like a big secret or anything. I mean, of course there were people that like eventually that I came out to, right, they were a bit of like shock at first because they say that you don't look that way or you don't give that vibe, and to me it was like, so must I look like a certain way to give that vibe, or should I dress a certain way to give that vibe, you know? Because to me it's like I'm just being me. So it wasn't like, with friends it wasn't really a bad experience, but with coming out to family, it was the tricky part. I had to do it in a strategic way at first. So I came out to my closest cousins first, who like I knew that the bond is there. So when coming out to them, they didn't see me different, nor did it bother them. My relatives' household, there were some that were like okay with it, some that were not okay with it, some that do not talk to me anymore after that. But I think that's just how it goes, especially when it's those who are like from the olden days where they think it's, or they deem it as, you know, like a bad thing, and they don't really see eye to eye. So for that portion, I would say like some of the olden days relatives, like the olden days mindset, they weren't really okay with it. For my immediate family, my younger brother was accepting. He was really open about it. He did not care. My sister, though, she took some time to get used to the idea, but my parents, they were the one. It was the hardest with my parents actually, because when I came out to my parents at first, they were in denial. They did not want to accept the fact that, you know, their son could it could be not straight, because like I understand that every parents have like, you know, this set of like dreams for their children when they come into the world, but to think that it may not be true for them, right? You understand that it hurts their feelings, but at the same time they did eventually, you know, take some time to like come and talk to me about it, and like try to understand where I was coming from, and like see, like, you know, they even made the effort to like read up more about it and see where they can try to improve themselves on like knowledge, and like now they are way more understanding than before. And they are also like, they also did ask me like on things like, you know, things that I didn't even tell them about, like my pronouns and everything. So to me that was like sweet that they actually made an effort to really go and find out a lot about the LGBTQ and all the topics that come along with it actually.
So as I was saying, in Canada, that's just not an issue at all. It's as good as me telling them that, you know, I have two eyes. So it's the most natural thing ever, which is a fantastic. Whereas in Singapore, now that's a conversation that we could have. But to put it briefly, with family, it's been extremely challenging. I've tried telling my family when I was a teenager. and that did not go too well. You know, there are questions of shame, family honor, things like where would I put my face, or what would happen to the family name. So I went about approaching this without particularly saying that I'm bisexual, but I went about asking questions like, what would you do if I brought a woman back home? And the answers have always been like, don't you dare. But I've also tried coming out with a friend, and that went really well. I told her who I am, and her only reaction was, don't be crazy, of course I'm going to accept you, you're my friend. So that felt really good. But it's still an ongoing process. There are, other people in my life that I have not come out to. But recently I came out to 2 of my young cousins, and they were absolutely thrilled. They, want to be there at my wedding. I have not even thought about this. But I've also told them, things like in Singapore, it's not allowed. And they were like, no, you do it in Canada, we'll fly over. We'll bring our friends, even if no one wants to be there. So that was really good. I would say that the older generation's reaction has always been pretty negative, unfortunately. This includes people in my generation. But the younger generation, I'm very happy to see that, it's definitely changing.
This was my mom's exact face. So that was a great reaction because my mom is quite, auntie's Indian, homophobic, normal. So my mom actually took it well, I would say, because I did not expect her. I expected her to judge me like after maybe my girlfriend at the time left or something. Like, no, my mom was like, as long as you're happy, I'm fine. Just know what you're doing. And my mom was more excited about the fact that I was not going to get pregnant anytime soon. So she was like, okay, yeah, just have fun. You're young, just have fun. Just know what you're doing, that's fine. My friends, well, none of my friends are straight. No offense. But I did have straight friends, like when I was in secondary school, and some judged me, some left, some did not want to be my friend anymore because they're like, oh, you're a bad influence. Or even though I was a good friend, I'm not bragging, but I know. So even though I was a good friend to them, but they would like, oh, I'm sorry, but you're a bad influence. Or my mom told me that, you can't hang out with us anymore, blah, 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 blah. So it affected me when I was younger, but as I grew up, I just, meh.
Okay, so my family reacted pretty well. So when I told my sister-in-law, she kind of figured it out, I guess. So that was pretty smooth. My brothers as well. So my elder brother, I came out to him. My younger brother kind of found out when he saw me with my boyfriend. So that was, I guess it was smooth. They were accepting. But not my mom yet, because my mom is still, a bit of an Orthodox Indian family, so it's still hard to talk about coming out. And since my brothers are getting married, so the question has moved on to when am I getting married. So fielding questions, trying to say soon, when I hit 35, but I guess it's a river that we have to cross when it comes. Yeah, in terms of friends, everybody took it on positively, like even my close friends. I'm not going to say that I didn't lose anybody. I did lose a few friends along the way. But I guess if it comes down to choosing myself and my friends, choose yourself, because your friends won't choose you when the time is right. Only those who are really, really close to you, those who know you very well, they will choose you. But choose yourself. So yeah. So family and friends, thankfully for me, it was a positive experience. I didn't really get any sort of bullying, ostracizing or anything. Everybody accepted it with open arms. I'm not too sure if it's because I naturally give off the gay vibes. I don't know. So yeah, I think I had it lucky, yeah.
For family, my mom, actually, after my mom got to know her, she thought she was a nice girl and all that lah. So for family, only my mom, sister and brother knows, and extended family they know. My father don't know because he's quite orthodox, but that's okay lah. My mom says it's okay, so I don't mind. So then about friends, actually they don't know how to understand maybe, and they are like, first thought is like, how are you going to get married? Yeah, so that itself is a put off for me lah. I don't know about her, but for me, yeah. So that is friends. Some of my very close friends, they are very understanding and they know her and they appreciate her and they welcome her. So some know, yeah.
For me, I'm blessed that I'm really blessed that my family actually is open. My dad actually is quite open. They kind of took their time to speak and understand. Some of my friends that didn't quite get it, and me being me, when I feel like I don't have a connection and I feel like some boundaries of my personal space is being crossed, I did move on from them. I feel like it's not a battle. It's not worth fighting that battle, and it's not worth explaining myself to somebody that's not able or willing to open up. So for me, it's quite pointless to explain to deaf ears. So I moved on from it. I wouldn't say that I didn't lose lots of friends through this process when they don't understand what's happening, they think they're advising. We do get kind of crude advice, like, how are you going to marry in this society? You're a classical dancer, you're a nurse, what are you going to do? You're out there, you cannot spoil your reputation. But to me, I'm me and I live. So it's not in you whether you accept it or not. For me, I came to a point where I made peace with myself. So I'm contented, obviously with her as well.
Okay, for my family, I think it's because my family, my mom and my sister only. So my mom accepted me, but still she have that thinking that someday the son will be living a normal life. For my sister, she accepted for who I am, and she giving me the moral support. For friend wise, there's like 50-50. Another part of friends, they are willing to accept me and they accepted me for who I am, and even they have advised me like you have to be open, don't need to be shy, be who you are. Where another part of friends, 50% of my friends, they have blocked me through all the social medias and even in context. So yeah, 50-50.
Though it was an extremely scary and nerve-wracking process, though I felt at that time like I was all alone, the truth is I cannot say that I was truly alone. I had first come out to a couple of my close friends and family members, including my sister and my cousins. Some of them were mildly surprised, but most of them said they already knew. Most importantly, all of them were unconditionally supportive and accepting. Coming out to my parents was more challenging. They really struggled to understand and accept this. We had a long conversation, and I tried to explain to them as best as I could. They had a lot of questions, some of them painful and some of them uncomfortable. Thankfully, they did not have any drastic reactions like getting disowned or kicked out of the house. But they were really struggling to understand. Many Asian children who come out to their parents will have something similar to say. Coming out to Asian parents is not a one-time thing, it's a process. Roughly once in every 6 months, I had to come out to them all over again and answer the same questions that they had over again. Now, my dad has mostly accepted me, but my mother is still trying. I don't blame them for not being able to understand or accept any of this, because in their times, their awareness and exposure is not the same as what it is now. Though LGBTQ people have existed since the beginning of time, things were largely kept undercover and not spoken about it as openly as what it is now. However, there will remain some part of me that always wishes and craves for unconditional acceptance and support, not just from my parents, but from the entire society.